Let's go over this floor reflection effect in Photoshop. So I've got my assets all set up. 3 different players we'll be looking at today. Each have slightly different feet positions, which bring with them their own challenges with different reflections. So let's start with this Wilson Matthews cutout. Just gonna move it to the top and hide the other ones. Now, the basis of making this type of reflection, first you're gonna duplicate the layer, Command J, take the bottom layer, and we're gonna flip it vertically by going Edit, Transform, Flip Vertical. And now we're just gonna drag this down with the Move tool selected. V is the shortcut for your move tool, and just drag it straight down until it lines up as you want it. Next thing you want to do is just gradually fade it out with a gradient. So we're going to put a mask on it. Just go to your bottom right corner, click that mask icon, and now with the gradient tool selected, G is the shortcut, and you can cycle through the gradient tool and the paint bucket tool just by right clicking or holding shift and hitting G. We're going to go to the gradient tool, black foreground color, and then if you go up to your gradient here, you should have this black to transparent gradient. We'll make sure that's selected. And then I'm just gonna click and drag from the bottom of the reflection layer, holding shift to keep this straight to get this gradual fade. And from here, you can adjust these points once you release the mouse and go back in and adjust these however you like. So this is probably the easiest situation to create this reflect. We just have one point of contact with the ground. The other foot is in the air. Honestly, it's just the tip of the heel. So we don't really have to worry about matching the bottom of the foot of the reflection up with the bottom of the foot of the cutout. Super simple approach. I'm gonna group these in a folder and just call it example 1. Let's turn this off and go to our lacy cutout. This one's going to be a little bit different. So we'll start the same way, Command J to duplicate, and again, Edit, Transform, Flip Vertical. But now when we move this down to line it up with the feet, you can see we want to align it with that front foot, and I'm just nudging with the arrow keys. So about there, but now we've got this back foot that is not lined up with the toe. This is because the feet are positioned at different depths on the canvas. So to line this up, we're gonna rotate this bottom cutout. Let's hit Command T to transform. And if you hover in the space around the box, you should see your cursor change to this rotate cursor. And so we can just drag it and reposition the image until it's better lined up. So we'll hit return to lock that in. Now, of course, it's no longer a straight up and down reflection. If we bring up our grids, Command apostrophe is the shortcut. We can highlight both these layers just by holding shift and clicking on them together. Let's move our cutout over. So we're lining up this thigh with this vertical grid line. And you can see if you extend it down, our reflection is not perfectly in line with the vertical of the main cutout. So to change this and to kind of line that up better, now that we've rotated it, we can add a bit of distortion on this reflection. So now let's take our reflection layer. We'll again move it below the main cutout. Command T to transform. If you hold Command and click on like one of the middle sides of this transform box, so right up here at the top, you can do the top or the bottom, hold Command and click and drag. I'm also holding shift, and this is gonna warp the image so the thigh is now more vertical, and then we can move it over. Let's try it there. So I'm just lining up this vertical line with each of these thighs and then making sure the feet are lined up as well. So we've rotated the image, now we've warped it, and now when we lock that in, you can see we've got a much more accurate lined up reflection. We can do the same fade effect. So again, putting a mask on this bottom layer, go into your gradient tool, and with that black to transparent gradient, just clicking and dragging upward. Let's package these up into a folder, call it example 2. And now for this last one, this is going to be the trickiest of the bunch. This is Alex Atkins. Starting the same way, Command J, we'll take this reflection layer, move it to the bottom, and then edit, transform, flip vertical, drag this down. And now we can see the feet again aren't lined up, so let's do Command T, rotate it, same thing that we did with the last cutout, and just lining up the toes. Now I really need to see like a good example of how this is supposed to look in real life, because I don't think this is right. It looks like the heel is lifted off the ground. It seems like the heel should be touching in the reflection and like the perspective should be shifted a bit. I've been playing around with these reflections a ton and just trying to figure out the best approach and how to fix this little issue and just bring that foot more lined up. Here's what I've come up with. If you have a different way, please let me know. But I think this is the best way I've found. So I'm gonna duplicate this reflection layer, Command J. Let's hide the initial one and we'll just work on this new one. I'm gonna drag this image down because we're gonna warp these feet and try to line them up better. So let's go to Edit, Transform, Warp. And I am by no means a warping expert in Photoshop. This is probably one of the features I use the least. So I'm not great at it. This box is overwhelming to me sometimes, just being able to like drop points and shift different pieces around. Not super intuitive, but again, if you have a good way of doing this, please let me know. If you hold Command, you can drop on like a vertical line to this warping box. So I just held Command and I clicked about in the middle. I wanted to split these legs up. And now if you take this point and just click and drag it upward, you'll see these feet start to shift so the angle is better matching up with our initial cutout. So you can kind of guess a bit here, but something like that feels about right. Let's hit the check mark, and then with the move tool, just move this up and see if it matches up with the heel of the feet. That's what I'm looking at here. And that's pretty good. Like, I think the heels make this look a lot more believable. Obviously, there's a little bit of a gap on the toes. That's not great. Same with that side. So to fix that, I just want to keep the toes from the initial reflection we were looking at. So that layer that we hid before duplicating it. If we turn off the duplicated layer, you can see the toes are good in this one, the heels are good in this one. So let's just combine both of these. I'm gonna do that by taking the layer with the toes. We can even call this toes. Let's drag it on top of the reflection layer. And now because I only want the toes from each foot showing from this layer, let's put an inverted mask on our toes. We can do that by holding Option and clicking on the mask icon. You can also click the mask icon and then go to Command I to invert it. We want a black mask, and then we're gonna paint back on in white. So if you go B for your brush tool, switch the foreground color to white, we can bring up our brush and bring up the hardness as well. Can go all the way to 100. And now anything we paint in white on this mask is going to reveal the initial layer. So if we want those toes back, all we have to do is paint in white. So just clicking and dragging, we have the toe of that shoe and the toe of this shoe as well. Now I'm going to switch my brush to be a little less hard so we can kind of get a gradual fade back into the rest of the shoe. So something like this. And now this extra toe of the shoe from the reflection layer, we can put a mask on this layer, go to a black brush, so switch the foreground color to black, and then just brush out that extra bit on both sides. So I've got the toes pretty much lined up, the heels look good to me, and we can move forward with the rest of our reflection. So let's group these two layers together, put it in a folder, we'll call it reflection. And now similar to before, if we bring up the grids, we're gonna have to realign this vertically. So let's take both these layers and let's line it up with kind of the point of this triangle shadow. Let's put a grid line on that. So something like around there. And now with the reflection, we can Command T to transform. Let's take this lowest point and hold Command and Shift and just drag that over there like so. We'll hit return. And now it's pretty much vertically aligned. We have the heels aligned, and we can put on a layer mask, go to your gradient tool, and again, click and drag upwards. So that's our third example, definitely the toughest. You might just have to play with the warp tool until you're more comfortable than me to get a good feel of how to match these up with different cutouts. But before we end this video, I do want to get into a couple bonus effects. One is just foot shadows. You probably know how to do foot shadows by now, but in case you don't, we can go over those real quick. Let's combine this first example with some foot shadows and just see if we like that look. I feel like it just depends on the design I'm going for, whether or not I include foot shadows with the reflection. Sometimes I feel like it muddies things up and I kind of like this clean feel. Other times, maybe you could argue it's more realistic. So let's make a new layer above the reflection, but below the main cutout. And we'll just take our brush tool with a black foreground color. I'm gonna make the hardness 0, and we can bring the size up. I'm also gonna condense this brush down. So you can change the shape of the brush. Now we have a more elliptical brush, and we can bring the flow down to something in the single digits. 6 is fine. Bringing up the size with my bracket keys, we can start by just clicking once by the heel and then moving your mouse a little bit to the left and holding shift and clicking again. That's gonna draw a straight line from point A to point B. So it kind of makes the shadow a little bit thicker, and then we can bring this up and click to kind of create this this fading shadow on that foot. We can make a new layer, do a similar thing with this foot, although because it's far off the ground, I'm not gonna make it as dark. It's probably smaller too, so maybe we just pick a spot, click twice. And let's make a new layer. I always like to make kind of a general shadow spanning the full width of the cutout. So just bringing up our brush and we can just click once about there. Real basic foot shadows. I don't mind it in tandem with the reflection. So I just wanted to throw that out there as a potential add-on to this reflection effect. Another thing you can do is if you wanted to feel like the floor had some texture to it, or it wasn't like perfectly smooth, you could go to your reflection layer and then go up to filter, blur, motion blur, and just give it a bit of movement. And I feel like this sideways blur kind of creates this effect that the floor is not perfect. It's a much blurrier reflection now. I don't love like that sharp edge we're getting on the toe, so you might also go up to filter, blur, Gaussian blur to enhance the effect a little bit more, just make it a little bit less perfect looking. So just another option when you're playing with these reflections, you can kind of fine tune them as you like, add on effects. You can also add textures to the background, to the overall canvas, and really round out the rest of the poster design. We're gonna stop there for the day. Thank you as always for watching. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next one.